Little Red Riding Hood, I want you to take this basket of cakes and fruits to grandmother, said Little Red Riding Hood's mother. Go straight to the cottage and do not wander off the path through the woods. Red Riding Hood put on her cloak with a hood. I will carry it very carefully, she said. How lovely the cakes look, and grandmother will enjoy the fruit. Little Red Riding Hood's father was a woodcutter, so she knew the way through the forest. She waved goodbye to her mother and skipped away through the village until she came to the path through the woods. Rabbits scampered amongst the grass and a squirrel looked down at her from a tree. She would like to have play with them, but she remembered that she had been told to keep to the path. But when she saw some bluebells growing amongst the trees, she looked to pick a bunch. I won't go far, she said. I must pick just a few of them for grandmother. She knelt down and started gathering some of the flowers. But the best ones were further away, and Little Red Riding Hood picked up her basket and wandered through the trees until she had a big armful of bluebells. Red Riding Hood was so busy picking the flowers that she did not see a wolf creeping towards her and was surprised when she heard a strange voice say, "Good morning, little girl." She was frightened for a moment, but the wolf looked very kind, so she answered him, "Good morning, sir." "What a beautiful bunch of flowers," said the wolf. "Are you picking them for your mother?" "They are for my grandmother," Red Riding Hood told him. "She lives all alone in the cottage at the end of the wood, and I am taking her some cakes and fruit." "You are a very kind little girl," said the wolf. "I would like to walk through the wood with you, but I am in a hurry and must say goodbye." He waved a paw and trotted off through the trees. It took Little Red Riding Hood quite a long time to find her way back to the path, and the wolf was off sight before she remembered the way. So she did not see that he had scampered off in the direction of her grandmother's cottage. When the wolf arrived at the cottage, he crept up the path and knocked at the door. "Your grandchild is here," he whispered as gently as he could. "Pull the bobbin and the latch will go up," answered the grandmother. The wolf lifted the latch and rushed into the cottage, and before Red Riding Hood's grandmother could call for help, he had gobbled her up. The wolf looked around the room and saw a nightcap and shawl on a chair. "Just what I want," he cried, and looking in a mirror, he put them on. "Now the little girl will mistake me for her grandmother," he chuckled and crept into the big bed. Little Red Riding Hood walked quickly through the wood until she came to her grandmother's cottage. She tapped at the door. "Pull the bobbin and the latch will go up," said the wolf, trying to sound like an old woman. Picking up her basket and her bunch of flowers, Little Red Riding Hood stepped inside. The room was very dark, but Little Red Riding Hood could see that someone was in the bed. "I have brought you some cakes and fruit, grandmother," she said. "Come nearer, my dear," whispered the wolf. "I am not feeling very well." Little Red Riding Hood walked up to the bed and looked at the wolf, who had pulled the covers around himself. "What big ears you have, grandmother," said the little girl. "All the better to hear you with," answered the wolf. Red Riding Hood came closer to the bed, for she thought her grandmother looked rather strange. "And what big eyes you have," she said. "All the better to see you with the wolf." Answer. The Red Riding Hood exclaimed, "And what big teeth you have, grandmother! All the better to eat you with," cried the wolf, and springing out of bed, he chased Red Riding Hood around the room. Red Riding Hood cried out in alarm and hid behind a chair. Luckily, the wolf tripped over the shawl he was wearing, and the cap fell over his eyes. The little girl screamed again, and her father, who was cutting wood nearby, heard her cries and dashed into the cottage. Lifting his axe, he killed the wolf with one blow. To their surprise, out stepped the grandmother, for the wolf had swollen her hole and she was alive and well. "That skin will make you a nice rug," laughed the woodcutter. When Red Riding Hood had given her grandmother the good things she had brought in her basket, her father took her home safely through the forest. "I won't wander off the path again," she promised her mother when she had told all her adventures, "and I will never talk to the wolf again."